With some assistance from the federal government through the Central Bank Anchor Borrowers Program, farmers all over the country, including Kwara State, have been able to access agric loans at a reduced interest rate. The state governor believes President Muhammadu Buhari's agricultural reforms have really helped in driving growth in the sector.
Getting to make them look at agriculture, we thought was going to be a bit challenging. However, with the levels of advocacy we're able to carry on, with the levels of input support, with the levels of subsidy, and with the levels of being able to define the value chain, and with the level of us beginning to see memoranda of acts, of understanding being signed between the producer and the consumer. So it gave a lot of comfort to the youths. And because government has a full involvement in it, from the land acquisition to land clearing to access to inputs and to linking up with the markets. Our involvement truly gave them an understanding of what is involved. And we started with existing cleared farmlands. By the time we took youths in different localities, we just found out that they all began to be interested. And I think what gave it the major impetus was a drive by the administration of the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, under using agriculture as a means of economic diversification. I want to give a strong kudos to the Minister of Agriculture, who has been exceptionally supportive alongside with the Central Bank Governor. So advocacy at that level made it easier for us to resell the idea of driving agric as a means of wealth creation. So we latched on that, and with the benefit of what we had on ground, having come in through a commercial agric venture system in the state, we put all together, synthesize it into what has been seen today as our youth programs in driving agriculture.
Despite huge investment over the years, youth farmers in Ukui and Alatiko in Kwara State have been contending with threats of losing their farm settlements to government and its cronies. Some farmers speak on how agric extension programs have helped them increase their farm yields and how they've been able to manage the invasion of pests.
I have a series of experience on each crop, which this feed that we have is seed production plots trained by International Institute of Tropical Agriculture by reducing cost of production. We observed that the seed is taking huge money in the cost of production by analysis, because for the 50 kg of seed to cultivate 1 hectare is about 25,000 naira, which 1 kg is about 500 naira. But we observed that, okay, we farmer, we have to eliminate cost of production, so that's why we go for seed production training. For the total feed that you are looking towards now is about 50 hectares of soybean. And with our calculation with the raining pattern, we observed that the rain usually stopped at least October, November. But by that time, all these feed, we should have been ready for harvesting. But that's why we go for soybeans, and we go for the early planting so that it can mature at appropriate time before the climate change. And we observed that the climate change normally came around August. But now the system has changed because everything is from God. It started from July, which by that July, all our plants should have been ready, but their age will be a limit. And why we are planting immediately with fertilizer is when the drought came, the plant will also be extracting some nutrient from the soil, because the soil, the nutrient of the soil is normally being on the top, and where there is no rain, it's going to suppress some. That's why we apply at the same time with planting, so that it can easily to contact the nutrients.
What are their challenges, and what can government and other institutions do for them to improve on their produce?
During the registration stage, because you have to do some paperwork, because the input they are giving you is in form of loan. And before government can release the money for you, it means you have to pass through some paperwork, which is rigorous, which we think they could really soften the process much more. Actually, it's an easy process, but it takes more time to complete. One. Then secondly, the impediments we face here there are natural impediments, there are artificial one. The natural one is the season, which is the weather, the rain. The time we're supposed to plant, we are thinking maybe June, early to June ending, then first week of July and so on, but the rain did not come. So the rain came early to middle of July and ending of July, so we planted. Actually, we have planted some early enough when we had first rain. But, you know, the problem of machinery movement, because this is one of the farming estates they have in the state. And what they do is they move implements from one place they are finished to the other, because others too, they are demand for it. So this is one of the challenges we implore the government, especially the executive governor of Kwara State, Alhaji Ahmed, which have deemed it fit to put this scheme on ground. So if the machineries are made available more, because the one we have more, we have them here, but we feel if they are made available more, they'll be able to prepare more land, acquire more land, prepare more land, then more people will be able to come in against the next season.
What I experienced last year on my farm, I've reported to my extension worker at Agromo. He has guided me, take me through, and prescribe some chemicals which is suitable for the land. Whenever this insect that I come across, they give me some chemicals like relicent to spray my land, so I will not be able to do any weeding again. There's another chemical that are sprayed by the extension workers to stop these are insects that is stopping the leaves not to grow more. Because so there's some weeds that is stopping our crops in growing faster. This is already sprayed. You can see them. As soon as last year it's affected all the farm entirely, and I was disturbed due to the growth of the crops. But this year I'm okay. Because if you can see, the leaves are all it's okay. This is the normal color that I'm expecting, and this thing is growing well as expected, even with the rain, because we didn't have adequate rainfall this year.
While climate change may have significantly impacted farm produce year in and year out, farmers need to be given all the necessary exposure to the latest farming techniques currently practiced in some developed countries to enable them adapt and cope with the distortions.
Experts say food security is a complex condition requiring a holistic approach to all forms of malnutrition, the productivity and incomes of small-scale food producers, resilience of food production systems, and the sustainable use of biodiversity and genetic resources. That is our program for the day. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago.